The church was about to collapse. The world was coming to an end. God raised up super saints, those who said yes to God's call to holiness. One such great saint in the making, one soul who reached for and received the crown of glory in heaven, was St. Vincent de Paul.
The Lord said, I will raise the lowly to confound the proud. The church is in need. France, eldest daughter of the church, will give the world and the church a 17th century Mother Teresa. St. Vincent de Paul came from humble circumstances. He was born into a family of poor farmers. Coming from the poor, St. Vincent would always have a special place in his heart and his vocation for the poor, whether physically or spiritually. Holiness was evident in Vincent from infancy. His family said that from the earliest years he would become elated when he was praying. As a child, he could be heard singing and praying the Psalms as he tended the cattle in the fields. The seed of faith had been planted by God and nurtured by his holy family. Do you have a future super saint in your family?
St. Vincent showed a thirst and aptitude for learning which was further enhanced by a truly virtuous soul. Seeing this, his father scraped together what little he had to secure an education for their special son with the Franciscan friars. When Vincent had been in the school 4 years, he came to the attention of Mr. Comet, a nobleman of the village, who asked him to tutor his children. This overjoyed Vincent, as what little he earned would enable him to cease being a financial burden on his parents. In 1596, at 20 years old, Vincent entered the University of Toulouse, where he studied and prepared for the priesthood. In 1600, Vincent was to realize his dream. He was ordained a priest after having received the tonsure and minor orders of the Franciscan order.
St. Vincent's walk was the living out of the gospel. Like Francis, his focus in life was to be more like Jesus. But initially he saw Jesus studying the Word of God and the traditions of the church. The more he did, the more he became the gospel. Although he desired to continue his studies, the lack of funds and the debt he had incurred did not permit him to do so. But his holiness and generosity toward the poor came to the attention of a good woman, who upon her death bequeathed her estate to him. In 1605, Vincent left for Marseille to retrieve the inheritance of 500 crowns which she had left him, as the estate consisted of a sum of silver owed to the departed by an unscrupulous debtor who had fled to Marseille rather than pay. In Marseille he found the scoundrel, only to have him offer far less than the debt owed. But having wisdom, St. Vincent accepted the paltry sum and prepared to return to Toulouse. A young gentleman staying in the same inn as Vincent suggested he book passage on the boat he was taking to Narbonne. As this fit his budget and would save him the time, Vincent joyfully accepted.
The two newfound friends boarded the ship. The voyage began smoothly. The sun was shining. The Mediterranean Sea was calm. All was well aboard the ship. But suddenly, ominously, in the horizon loomed 3 ships carrying the colors of the Saracen Turks. They signaled the ship and pulled up to board her. The Turkish pirates commenced fighting immediately upon boarding the ship. Although the French sailors, along with Vincent joining in, fought bravely, they were way outnumbered and the ship was soon seized. Vincent's dream of returning home was now a horrible nightmare. The deck, brilliantly lit earlier by the rays of the sun, was now covered with blood and lifeless bodies.